quite often I've had lunch with birds here before. So we'll see if any show up today. Le sausage roll. Alright, Burton. How you going, mate? How are you going? That was quick, wasn't it? How have you been? Do you want some crumbs? You know, that bloody bowerbird took the goodies, took the meat. Well, you can have that if you want. Do you want that? You can have that. You're a good lad, aren't you? Or woman. Or non-binary ornithological creation. Labelling, you know, that's what we got to do, isn't it? We got to label everything now. I'm going to call you a non-binary bird. Hey, what do you reckon about that? Hey, what do you reckon about that? A non-binary birdo. You're okay, you'll say. Yeah, I know you. Sorry that I didn't have more for you. I've got a bit of chocolate, but I bet you that's not good for birds. That chocky, no. I don't know what's going on with birds in my life. We've got weird chickens living in our backyard that don't belong to us. You know, I've got forever rescuing sparrows from the chimney and waggling and admonishing finger at them and telling them to go home. And they always come back. And a bit more. A bit more, can't you? Hey, you're a good bird, eh? Yeah. You're a good bird. Just don't start pecking at me. It's another classic sidecar Sean slow trip. Of course, but that's all right. We're not trying to get anywhere in a hurry, you know. I was going to put this on, wasn't I? But I think we'll hang on to that for a little while till we get to probably Wongwawinda. We'll stop there and I'll put on a jumper and we fished out these warmer gloves. These gloves are cheap Chinese gloves. They were less than $20 with postage from China or somewhere, you know. And they're the warmest gloves I've ever owned. Probably because they're cheap and nasty, made out of, like, you know, weird plastics and nylons or whatever, and they don't breathe. So your you know, hands stay pretty warm. I've got other pairs of gloves, as you know. Now these gloves are quite comfortable. I've had them for quite a few years now, I suppose, so they're lasting pretty well, which can only be a good thing for the game. I don't know whether you can actually buy them anymore, to be honest. But if you can, I don't even know what the brand name is, and because I'm an old codger I can't even read that from here with sunglasses on. But they work really well. We've got those cheeky milk cows, toddy bulls. So we'll pop down here. Always remembering, der Weg ist das Ziel. Yeah? The journey is the point, the goal. You know. It must be. I'd probably frustrate people quite a bit, you know, by just wandering around the countryside and not getting home. But it seems little point to just getting home. Now somebody, and I've probably been through all this before with here, somebody collected all this old rolling stock, you know, and brought it up here to make a museum, and you can see some of it has just fallen into utter disrepair. There's those old coal wagons I was talking to Mark about last night. And those old carriages went on steam trains that I used to catch, or we used to catch, you know, when we were kids. Anyway, he brought them up here, you know, to make some kind of museum, or to refurbish them, or whatever it is he was going to do. And they've just been sitting here for years and years. And a lot of these trains, you know, we used to catch trains when I was a kid, because you know, we used to catch trains to the beach. We didn't all have cars, or as such, or freely available cars like you do now, you know. If you had a car in Australia back in the 60s and 70s, the family had one car, you know, and you made do with that. And in the meantime, you caught buses and trains and whatever. And so, you know, we used to catch a lot of trains, and there were trains like that, you know, with these carriages and stuff, you know. That's a sleeping car, that one, an economy sleeping car. So that could be off the Riverina Express, or you know, Glen Innes Mail, maybe, actually. Probably running from the, I don't know when they ran from, 70s, 40s, you know, or 50s through to the 80s anyway. And all those trains just stopped going. You know, government saving money, you know, just failing to provide us with services that we're entitled to. And they'll tell you, oh, only so many people catch the train, blah, blah, blah. Well, I actually caught the train last week, or the week before, from Armidale down to Wyong to pick up this big girl from Kerry. And that train was absolutely full. There were no seats, no spare seats in my carriage. None at all. Fully booked out, you know. And so they still use it. The house is in as good a condition as the rolling stock is. That's right. Look at that, eh? Caltex taking fuel along. I mean, you know, it's utterly ridiculous to think that trains are going to make a comeback. The only way they're going to make a comeback is if we have to, you know, get ready for another war, to get the lines open again to transport weapons and materials to places, and resources, you know. The New England Rail north of Armidale has been closed since 1983 or something, can't remember now. A long time anyway. Which is an absolute shame. But once again, well, What's this? Pitt Street or what? Once again, it's that old codger thing, you know, where I want things to be the way they were when I was a child. It's a comfort thing, you know, when you get old, I suppose. I haven't thought about it too deeply, but I'm guessing that's what it sort of is. And in some of the old steam locos, you know, I've probably been on trains with these very locomotives, you know, back in the late 60s when we lived at East Maitland. And we lived in Eastville, which is like Hauso territory, you know. And there's quite a few. Actually, you know what? They've added to that since I went away. They really added that. It's a good one there. It's got a real a tender at the front as well as the back. I mean, if you go, I'm guessing, some bits and pieces there. If you gave young people today, you know, the opportunity to travel by train, because there's a whole lot of them, like way over there as well. It just goes on. Some of those are interesting colours too, like as in, that would probably tell some kind. Oh, so you can't even fly a drone over there to look at them. Some of those carriages, I can remember those diesels there. Now that could be off things like the Spirit of Progress, the Southern Aurora, the Riverina Express, the North Coast Daylight, you know, all these old trains that no longer run. There's only a couple of them that it made. Anyway, I'm sort of saying, if you gave young people the opportunity to travel on the trains, and the trains went everywhere like they used to, they wouldn't take it, because they're just so used to having their own cars and stuff. They couldn't imagine having to rely on something else. They'd have to take their train. Diesel, electric, memorial, something, cocktail bar. The last time I was here, there were only a few, like 2 or 3 of these engines, you know. Now there's quite a few. I find that really interesting. So maybe there's something happening after all. These are quite small, these little ones. They're things of bloody beauty, aren't they? They really are. You know, there's this thing about design, you know, like the humanity of design, I'll call it, you know, where older motorcycles, you know, and cars and trains, you know, they have this kind of human element in the design, which is the rounded shapes, you know. I mean, for me, I like older motorcycles and older style motorcycles because of the rounded shapes, which are, to me, feminine shapes. That's because I'm a heterosexual male, you know. Other people might have a different idea, but to me, motorcycles are feminine because I don't want to be riding astride a masculine entity. I'm a big girl, and like there's an essential beauty in the lines of this tank. Even though it's a big girl, it's still a girl. To me, you know, there is a sensuality to that shape and the curves, you know. I may or may not be crazy, but I reckon those are design elements for sure, and humanity of design, you know, that kind of doesn't exist in the functionality of modern design. Triangles and squares, which are, you know, I suppose inherently stronger shapes, but don't have that beauty. Off we go to Ebor. Давай. I don't think it's going to rain. If it does, it'll be just a few spots, I guess, like back at Maxwell earlier on. This is a difficult corner. The camber's weird and it tightens and then loosens and tightens again. Not a great sidecar corner, but it's great countryside. Magnolia. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's still blossom, I think. Waterfall way, eh? Good road for motorcyclists, obviously. Fairly challenging. Different cambers and different kinds of corners, and nowhere to not many places to overtake, you know, legally. But you can get a bike cranked over into these corners. Not with the sidecar on it, of course. Bugger. Should have come up and overtaken that car, but that's alright, we're not in a hurry anyway. Why would I start being in a hurry now? After all the other dawdling I've done today. maybe there is a bit of rain in it. Don't know. I don't know. Da werden wir aber sehen, ja. Da werden wir aber sehen. I should be overtaking these people, but I can't really be bothered. The cocky got gumboots on. We know why they wear gumboots. That really is giving a long indication as to where we're going to turn right. Quite cool now, as predicted. I ought to know, oughtn't I? I've been here for 20 something years. He's got his quad on the back there. He's a nice boy, jolly good chap. thing that was curious when I stopped and had lunch just back up there on the top of the hill there is that the wind had stopped. It feels like it's blowing up here a bit, but it wasn't windy in Dorrigo there. The big girl, hey? There ain't nothing like it. There's a muko over there. She's a big girl too. Nine kilometres to Ebor. We'll have enough petrol to get home, but I think we'll still fill up at Ebor because then we'll have something in the tank at home, you know, before the next ride, which will be over to Walker for Andrew's meet and greet. That'll be good to catch up with some of the people, girls and boys from around the place. Todd and look at that moo cow. We got those naughty moo cows here today. Yeah, Todd and Angus from Broken Hill, and others come from Queensland, and others come from down the Central Coast, and that sort of thing, you know. So it's blokes we don't, and girls, you know, that we don't always see. Mind you, it was probably 6 months since I'd seen Andrew when I went and saw him the other day. Lots of potties here, little potty bulls actually. I assume they're Black Angus for beef, you know. Where are the dogs anyway? Where are the dogs and humans? There's a swaggy from a long time ago, eh? Wonder where he's off to. You can feel the air's gone another step colder. Now that we're getting towards Ebor, we're up a bit higher again. Probably about 1,000 metres, I guess. And then we get a little bit colder again on the way to Gara. It's just a southerly change has come through. So normally, I think they forecast about 15 for Gara today, but it won't get to that. It's probably not. It's probably about 10 or 12, you know. That's cold enough for riding in spring anyway. got any food? Ooh, big splat on the visor. Wonder if I got any food at home, apart from like toast. Well, that'll toast will do for dinner anyway. Had a sausage roll for lunch. That'll be fine. Let's get some juice and continue on our way, eh?